everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do some real-time DIYs. This is a new format for me to be sitting in front of the camera for my introduction, so I just wanted to show you what we're going to use. I'm going to use this really cute bunny sign from the Dollar Tree. Hopefully you're able to grab one before you were in isolation. We're going to use some free printable buffalo check or gingham print black and white patterns, whatever colors. If you're into the pastels for Easter, you can print whatever color your computer can handle. Okay, all you have to do is look up. I got Google searches. I will try to remember to link them in the description box down below. I Google searched black and white check and their free page came up. So you could do pink and white, yellow, white, whatever you want. And then I got some of those printables. You're gonna need at least two 8x10s to cover the egg. Now, which egg are you talking about? We're going to use this one. This is the one that says Hippity Hoppity Easter's on its way, and the other one, I feel like it says Follow the Bunny. Follow the Bunny. He's got chocolate. I feel like that's what the other one says. Or every bunny. Oh, that's what it is. Every bunny's welcome. Maybe that's what it says. But anyway, we're going to use this egg because it's a lot bigger than the wood one, and it will accommodate this bunny. So now I will tell you, I'm going to peel this off the back. It is stapled in two places on both ribbons, so it comes off really easy. No glue to worry about there. I'm just going to remove the other staple. There is some staple holes, but that's not a problem. And then we're going to move the hanger from his ear, and if you never did that, it's kind of like a shoelace. Okay, so this is my first time doing a real-time DIY like this. I will tell you that I was inspired by my Facebook group. These were like all over my Facebook group. There were a combination. Some people had put the buffalo check on the bunny. Some people put it on the egg. Bunny on the egg, yada, yada, yada. So we're just going to do our version. I'm going to tilt you down so you guys can see what's going on. Okay. So I was kind of thinking, like, did I want to make this bunny different? But you see how nicely that bunny fits inside that egg. So I kind of really like it, but I don't know that I necessarily like the bow right above her eyes. So I'm just going to see if I can rip that off. I did rip the paper. There is a spot there. So if I do end up putting it back, see, even if you just move it up a tiny bit, doesn't that look so much better already? I don't know. I just feel like it was a little low and you couldn't see her eyes or his eyes. So that's what that looks like. I think we're going to do something to this different. Why don't we cover this with some wood grain contact paper? Or, better yet, let's paint it. So, just reaching up for my painting board, sorry. So I use these washable, right, washable. I use these flexible cutting mats from the Dollar Tree. I use Waverly's chalk paint in white. And then for wood graining, I could use like a variety. It depends on if I want like a gray wash or if I want actual wood grain. Up here on my desk, I have a variety of sponge brushes and paint brushes. So I'm going to grab a sponge brush, not a really wide one, not a really narrow one, maybe just a medium-sized one. Probably better if I see. Okay, that one's perfect. And I mean better that I see because the light's in my eyes right now. Okay. And we'll leave these out because we're going to need them in a minute anyway. So if you've not used Waverly's chalk paint in before, we do have a recipe on our channel. Oh, I forgot to stand the holes. We do have a recipe on our channel for homemade chalk paint using baking soda and acrylic paint. It also works really well, baking soda and house paint, like latex paint. All I'm doing right here is I'm going to fill these holes with hot glue. This bunny will want to stick to this cutting mat in a minute, but I'm going to remove it in time. Let's see if I get any glue in that hole. I did. Okay. If you can buy a new hot glue gun. I know there's all kinds of nice ones out there. I really like this one because it's a dual temp. And when I'm doing stuff like this where I need to hold it soon, I could put it on low temp and I won't burn myself. So you don't need this hole like filled flat and flush because the paint will do some. You just want it filled so that the paint will fill it. Okay? Okay. Now we're just going to take the paint and we're just going to go over it. And I like to go in the same direction that wood grain was going. This way we're kind of cheating and we're kind of doing the same thing. I also like this too because I can make it like a gray wash if I wanted to. But I think I'm going to use the brown. I think I'm going to use the Waverly's chalk paint in white. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm using that now. Waverly's wax in antique. I never sanded this. This is very rough. Okay. This is just going to be a really quick coat. So people have said on the comments very recently, which is very kind, that I make it look really easy, but you don't understand. I have a lot of like things that we don't do on our channel because I'm only trying to do the projects that are easy. And I don't mean easy for me. I mean like easy that I've taught people with limited skill to craft. So definitely try. I tell everybody all the time too, it's just paint and glue. Glue can be unglued, paint can be painted over. Ooh. Okay, there we go. So now we're just going to take a little bit of the Waverly wax in antique. I think that's what this is. Yeah. And we're just going to put a tiny bit. Oh, that's way too much. Whoa, that's way too much. Real-time crafting. And of course, it's my second to last wipe. Well, I didn't want that much. So what I'm doing here is I left the white on there and I'm loading in some brown and I want to get it sort of muddly. So if you see here, it's sort of like muddly. And then what you want to do is you want to hold your brush sideways and go with the wood grain first, okay? And what I do like to do is bounce it around. So you see I started in the middle and then I went over to the side and then I went over to this side. The reason you want to do that is because as you paint, the more you use it, the less concentrated the wax will be. So it'll give you dark streaks and it won't just be dark like that. If you start here and you just go dark, medium, next, dot, light, it looks weird. So to get more natural, you want to just make it as varied as possible. Okay, so now holding the brush flat and sideways, you want to start off your project and you want to very light hand, very dry brush. You want to go over all of the areas and kind of create that wood grain look. See how easy we got some wood graining going there? Okay, so now it might be a little too just one color. So one thing you can do is get a stiff bristle brush. Like this one's really stiff. We're going to dip it straight into the wax. Just make it a little bit less concentrated and just go like all over we can. Okay. And what this is going to do is give us the knots and the different board strengths. And you want to, when you're working like this, you want to rotate your brush. So if you watch me in slow motion, and this is me going slow, I didn't slow the camera. If you watch me in slow motion, I turn the brush in different angles each time I stroke. And the reason you want to do that is you don't end up with the same mark. See, this is like the same mark repeated over and over. So you want to be able to move it and move it. Okay, I think that's really cute. I think he looks really cute like that. Let's just see. Let's do one off, and we'll do one off here, and then one off the top. I think one off the top for sure. Okay. Yeah, I think that's not bad. So let's set him offside to dry. Do we want to make him stripy wood like the original? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we make him stripy? Like boards? Maybe. One thing I did notice is I was going on a kind of a curve. Did you see that? I was kind of curving that way. So once it's all done, we're going to look at it and say, hey, you know what? So you can always go back with your original brush and dull up the ones that you wanted that were too dark, lighten up the ones that were just right, that kind of thing. All right? Now when I'm working, and I think I might want to do some more with it later, I just take my brushes and I wrap them in a wet wipe. I know wipes are at a premium right now, but a wet paper towel, any of that stuff would work great. Okay. I'm going to set him off just for a minute. And now we're going to take our egg. And we do, like a lot of people use Mod Podge, which is a good option. Except when you're real-time crafting, Mod Podge takes forever to dry. So we're going to use spray adhesive. My new favorite is Elaine's Tacky Spray. I don't find it as noxious as like 3M spray adhesive, but it is, you have to make sure you have well-ventilated room and you're not right on top of it, okay? I mean, I'm going to be right on top of it, but you work outdoors. I have some printables, some pictures that I printed out today. Like I said, I'm going to use these two, and I'm going to link them in the description box down below. But what we want to do is, if you see this egg is really big and it won't fit an 8x10 picture by itself, even across, well, actually that, nope, see, that's going to cut off there. There's going to be white. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to piece it together. Let me get my glasses, and let me get my scissor. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off the skinny white edges. On two sides, the bottom and, well, not really two sides, one of the top and bottoms and one of the sides. Okay. You only need to do it for one right now, because what we're going to do is we're going to put this close to the bottom as possible, and then we're going to overlap this. So let's see, that looks like it would be absolutely perfect right there. And when you get the same picture printed twice, usually when the graphic designers create these, like this is actually all the same square printed, so the lines will eventually line up. And that right there, my friends, looks like it's kind of perfect. Might be off a tiny bit, but I don't think you can notice it where you are, because I certainly can't notice it where I am. Okay. So what I want to do is take a tiny bit of double sticky tape, just for now. I'm going to take a little double-sided tape. This is by Jot. I'm going to put a little off the side here, and then a little off the side here. And I'm going to do this so when I go to cut it, it'll be perfect, okay? So let's trim this. And let's trim this. Okay, I'm going to trim this side as well, because I want to be able to see that curve. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this back. I'm going to cut off all of this extra paper wherever it met. Oh, that one came undone. This is why I like regular tape, not double sticky tape. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to cut off all this extra paper. And the reason I'm cutting it off and not just leaving it underneath is twofold. For one, the spray adhesive will only touch whatever it's in contact with. So spray adhesive won't be on this if it's covered under this paper. The second thing is we're going to need this paper. And I'll show you here in a second. We have to create this top still, okay? So definitely want the stripes to go this way. But you know what? I think we just take a third piece of paper. That's probably easiest. I did print 3. I thought I would need 3, and that's what I'm needing. Okay? Which way are the stripes going? The stripes are going this way. So let's see if I do that. Can this work? Now, when you're overlapping, you don't have to worry about cutting a straight line because you're going to be meeting whatever's underneath it, and it'll be matched up because it's the same picture, just printed in different pieces of paper. Okay. So let's see. If we match that up, it is over a little bit here. So let's see. That looks like it might work. Let's see, right about there. Okay. Now, to avoid overspray, I'm so glad I just cleaned off my table so it could be full already. Okay. Now there's a tiny bit there, but watch this trick. You can either glue and paste, or you could just take a black Sharpie. I like to just cut it. Now we're going to take our sandpaper and we're going to really go to town. Now we're going to take that brush and we're going to take that wax and we're just going to go set him off to dry. Get that sandpaper. Now, do I want to put the lines? Oh, there's no lines. Never mind. So now we're just going to glue him down with a generous amount of glue. This paper is not put on there evenly, so I'm just going to have to eyeball it, and his ears aren't even either, so just make it so it looks good to you. Jim? Can I ask you a favor, please? Can you get me a package of wipes? Please.
The regular blue package.
What?
Like the regular wipes that we put in the box?
Yeah. For those of you who aren't aware, I use flushable wipes to wash up there in the office, so I just used my last one, as you saw. Yeah, actually, I was thinking about some spring flowers. Can you get some of those purple? So I'm not 100% sure why I stopped talking to you in real time, but we're going to make a really simple bow. This is one of the first videos we made on my channel to make a simple bow. You basically take a piece of ribbon twice what you want your bow to be wide plus 2 inches or more, and then you want to fold it in half with the overlap in the middle in the back. I've decided to make 2 loops of the wire edged burlap ribbon and then 2 loops of this black and white, well, black and burlap chevron and these are all from the Dollar Tree. The only thing on this whole project that's not from the Dollar Tree is the paint, the glue, and the the printables, and I'm going to use the chalk paint is not from the Dollar Tree. So I've decided to make all 4 of these loops the same size, and like I said, we're going to overlap an inch or 2 on the back in the middle. Then we're going to take the piece that's a little bit longer to make the tails. You really want to make it as long as twice what you want your tails to be, plus about 3 inches for tying a knot. And I forgot to cut the chevron tail. Yay! So now find the center of your 2 tails, scrunch up the center of your bow loops, and just tie a knot in the back. Be mindful that you keep your ribbons on top of each other, and that's really all you have to be mindful of. Tie it as tight as you can, and then when you turn it over, it's all ready to go. You can twist all of your ribbons into the right direction. With wire edged ribbon, it is so easy. For these loops, I decided to put the top loop down, the bottom loop up on both the burlap and the chevron. So the top loop is going down, the bottom is going up, and I'm repeating that for the plain burlap as well, just to give it that really nice layered look. Now after you fold your ribbon in half, the wires are going to want to stay bent. So just take a second to take those wires and just fold them back so that they don't have a sharp crease in them. Then you want to take your 2 tails and make sure you point them in the right direction, which is down, and then we're going to dovetail them by folding them in half and cutting from the folded side to the wire side. You wanted the wire side to be a little longer and a little shorter on the fold side, and that's where you get that beautiful peak. So simple. Do that for all 4, and then we're just going to set this bow aside. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out the design now. So do I just want the bow sitting on there? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm actually thinking I want to put some florals on there. So maybe what we'll do is we'll create some, like a floral bundle. I don't know that directly under the ribbon will be good, because it's kind of going to be hidden by the ribbon a little bit. But I wanted to show you here what that would look like. I know a lot of people put flowers at the top and then the ribbon at the bottom. For some reason, I feel like that feels very offset to me. So I'm just going to show you here. What we're going to end up doing is put a little bundle of stuff at the top and then put our bow onto a jute string. Oh. God bless you. So now we're just going to play around with the arrangement. Obviously, you guys want to do what works best for you, and of course, what flowers that you have. You always want to start with a little bit of greenery. We've done this plenty of times. The only time I don't usually start with the greenery is if the greenery is more like an accent and not an equal partner to the florals. You know, sometimes you just want a big flower with a little tiny bit of leaves. But most of the part you want to actually put like your base of greenery down and then build on your flowers from there. So I decided to take 2 of the long or the big dog ears? No, lamb's ears, and I'm just putting them stem to stem with plenty of glue. And then we're going to layer on top these wildflowers. I think these look a little like lavender. One of my viewers said they thought it looked a little bit like their lilacs. But they're just called wildflowers from the Dollar Tree, okay? And they came in 2 different shades of purple. I'm using 1 bunch of each shade just to give a little bit of contrast. Now, when you use this much glue, it often takes a while to go ahead and like let it set up. And when you're holding down these stems, they can sometimes have a mind of their own and want to pop up. Normally, I keep a double-ended rubber spatula from Dollar Tree in my craft room, but it went missing. Not pointing fingers at my husband, but I'm pointing fingers at my husband. No, he said he thinks he threw it out. So I have to buy another one, but that's what I usually use to hold down these hot glue things. But I'll just use the edge of my scissors for right now. Now, things will tend to want to stick to your scissor when you take it up. That's why I use both hands, all right? So then the next thing I'm trying to figure out is do I want to put the other lamb's ear there? Do I want to put the bow there? And like I said, we're going to end up putting the bow on the hanger. But, yeah, I think I want it off the egg. I'm afraid that if I put it on the top of the egg, it'll look too much like a circle. I figure like it'd take away the egg shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that jute string and I'm going to fish it in behind the knot. Now, for some people, it is easier to put the jute string with the loops before they tie their tails on. For me, it is not. I always seem to get it caught up, and it's so much easier for me when it's an afterthought. I've decided to add those bunches of 3 lamb's ear to cover up the plastic stems of the lilacs or lavender. The glue there was still a little tacky, just tacky enough to hold on to the lamb's ear. So finally, a place to put my random last piece of cotton stem. I'm so happy. I just had this laying around left over for a while, so I decided it's a perfect place to put it. You guys see how to do that? Make a loop. Well, let's find out it's even then. You make a loop. Put the string through twice. That's all. It's a double knot. And let's find an even spot on the board. You see this coming down 1 inch from there. And come down the same amount on that side. And let it cool off. So I think we're going to put Bunny on. I don't know if we're going to raise it. You guys let me know. What do you think? We should raise it. So this is the hardest part about crafting. This is the hardest part about crafting these days, is waiting for the glue to dry. Because we use chalk paint. And chalk paint dries so quickly. Really, it's like waiting for lots of hot glue to dry. So let me lower you down. So what we could do, watch this trick while you're waiting for glue to dry. So Bunny across his face, or Bunny down here. You guys tell me, what do you think? Bunny down here or Bunny across his face? Or no Bunny at all? It's a tough call. I have a great idea. Let's do this. Let's get some popsicle sticks. We'll make this so fast. We'll cut these popsicle sticks in half, lengthwise. We'll get a couple of really good shards of popsicle stick. We'll get this one. And we'll glue it back here. And we'll get this one and we'll glue it right there. What do you think? I shouldn't have cut this particular one. Waiting. So that's it, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share it with friends and family. Anybody who might be interested in making this cute little bunny sign. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, which happens right down here. And when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.